Hey guys, we are back with some more LA Kings franchise mode, and in this one, we are going to go ahead with year number 3. But first things first, we do have some line changes. There is also a trade that we need to make. So looking at the lines currently, we have Vilardi, Kopitar, and Kempe on the first line. We just have to deal with that -1 for the time being, but remember, there is a trade to be made. On the second line, you have Byfield, Turcotte, and Olofsson. I believe this line will have a pretty good year. Byfield has that 91 offensive awareness as the power forward, Turcotte has a 95 as the playmaker, and 90 offensive awareness for Olofsson as the sniper. In addition to the +3, that should get them some pretty good numbers. And on the third line, you have Grundstrom, Kupari, and Ho, the two-way forward. Third line, once again, plenty of two-way forwards on this team. Two-way forward is Vilardi, two-way forward as well is Kempe. Anderson Dolan is also a two-way forward. So you see what I mean? We just have way too many two-way forwards, so that's why we're making a trade. Then you have Lucic and Brown as well on that fourth line with Anderson Dolan. On defense, you have Dursey with Doughty. I think this will be Dursey's year to prove himself. He's already 23. He's going to plateau soon. So if he's going to do anything, I think this is going to be the year. So I'm playing him with Doughty. Second defensive pair is going to be Manson and Spence, and then Clegg and Hjalmarsson behind them. Power play, I tried spreading out the scoring a little bit. Kopitar is with Doughty on the second power play line with Vilardi, Ho, and Kupari. And on the first line, you have Byfield, Turcotte, and Olofsson with Spence and Dursey. And that gets that +3. So I'm hoping that this line will sort of equal out to what Kopitar and Doughty are likely to bring to this line. And then the penalty kill, we actually managed to get a +5 here. Vilardi with Ho, Clegg, and Manson, and then Kopitar, Kupari, Hjalmarsson, and Doughty. Hjalmarsson and Doughty, unfortunately, do not fit the penalty kill strategy, but this is the best we can do. 4-on-4, you have Turcotte, Olofsson, Dursey, and Doughty, and then Kopitar, Ho, Spence, and Manson. Byfield, Kupari, Clegg, and Hjalmarsson. 3-on-3 is basically the same. Extra attackers are Kopitar and Byfield. Shootout is Kopitar, Doughty, Olofsson, Turcotte, and Vilardi. And in goal, you have Shesterkin and Markkanen. Scratched are Quick, Amadio, and Anderson. As far as the chemistry stuff goes, if we're not at least, I'm going to say 500 by 2 or 3 months in, we might just fire this guy outright. And then, honestly, I think Wotherspoon would have been the better candidate for the job. Because if you take a look at all of his stats compared to this guy, who his name I can't even pronounce, he has an A- for offensive as opposed to B-, B- for defensive as opposed to C-. Now, his one weakness compared to our current head coach is a C for power play compared to a B, but everywhere else, he has the advantage. So, and I'm hoping that if we do indeed hire Wotherspoon on as our head coach at some point, that his chemistry is better than this guy's. And now we're going to make a trade, and that trade will be with the Winnipeg Jets. They are pretty strapped for cap. They only have 1.7 remaining, and let's see, who do they have to re-sign this year? It doesn't look like any bit important, but they do have Mark Scheifele coming up in a couple of years. They also have Vesalainen, so they're definitely in need of cap space. They also have Hellebuck coming up in a couple of years as well. So my idea is to send them Adrian Kempe. I'm not sure why I re-signed him. We have way too many two-way forwards. He didn't have the greatest year last year, obviously, only 2 goals. I think he would benefit from a change of scenery. And coming back the other way is a player who also kind of struggled last year, Nikolai Ehlers. He's making $6 million currently for 3 years, so helping them out with their cap situation going into next year, since Kempe is on a 1-year deal and Ehlers is on a 3-year deal. They free up that $6 million for next year, and not only that, but they don't have to re-sign Kempe if they don't want to, but he helps them out for this season. And when we take a look at Ehlers' stats, once again, he kind of struggled last year, 37 points. If we take a look at his time on ice, he only played roughly 12 minutes per game, so Winnipeg also underusing Ehlers, so that could be another argument as to why maybe they would want to trade him. And his trade value is very low at the moment, so I believe if we can get Ehlers going, maybe have him on that first line with Kopitar and Vilardi, possibly get him back up to an 85 overall, maybe an 86, and this should end up being a good trade for both teams. Yes, indeed, we do have a 1-for-1 deal. Kempe for Ehlers, proposed trade accepted. They think of it as a gift horse, so there you go. They obviously like it. I like it. I don't think that $6 million will be a problem, at least not anytime in the near future, because keep in mind we do have a lot of dead cap in the form of Quick, who's making 5.8 sitting on the bench, as well as Lucic, who I believe he's making 5.25 for one more year as a 77 overall. So I'm not worried about that $6 million for Ehlers. We should be fine on that front. So that all being done, welcome to the team, Nikolai Ehlers, and he fits in on the first line. Doesn't bring any chemistry, but that was to be expected with this coach. But at least we have a playmaker in there now. And my idea with the playmaker was that we get a guy who takes roughly 100 shots per season, maybe 150, so that Kopitar and Vilardi could focus on shooting, because they appear to be volume shooters. Because Kopitar last season had 227 shots. Vilardi, as we take a look at him, I believe had 200 as well. Yeah, exactly 200 shots last season in his first full season in the NHL. So if that is anything to go off of, I'm anticipating that Vilardi and or Kopitar will score at least 25 goals this season each, hopefully more. And that means we can put Ehlers on the power play somewhere, but I'm not sure where he would fit in. I guess we take Kupari off, because Kupari could just be a penalty killer for us, and then we insert Ehlers. Does that bring any chemistry? Not really. But I guess it's better than having the 82 Kupari there. Yeah, we'll see how that works. So with that all being done, I believe we are set to advance into year number 3. So your captains, Kopitar obviously, still the captain. Dustin Brown with an A and Doughty with an A. I don't feel like there's anyone else who I really want to give an A to at this point, so we'll just leave it with Brown and Doughty. And now that we are 3 years in, we are officially starting to get to the computer-generated drafts. So you have, as the first overall pick, presumed first overall pick, Jaden Ballard, who, I mean, we don't know anything about these guys, but yeah, as we scroll down the list, it's looking like we have mostly generated players here now. I did actually sign a couple AHL players as well to help out with Ontario, so now we have +3 chemistry on the first 2 lines, and I'm mainly focused on growing Kaliev this year, because he is, I would say, our only real prospect in the AHL at the moment. I mean, there's Tyler Madden as well, but he's got the low top 6, so I'm not as concerned with him. I want to get Kaliev up there in overall as soon as possible, because he's already 21. He needs to start developing a little bit more down there, and he hasn't really seen much progress yet. And as we take a look at our defense, we have the +5s on the first and second pair, so that should also help out with Kaliev's development. And then in goal, you have Villalta and Perrick. So honestly, I'm expecting these guys to make a pretty deep run in the AHL playoffs. I mean, it is pretty stacked down here, so hopefully Kaliev can lead the way to the AHL championship. So here we go, first game of the regular season against the New York Rangers. Let's see what happens here in the quick sim. So after one, heading into the second, we lead 2-1. Goals by Byfield and Turcotte on Kincaid. Goal by Hedl on his former goaltender Shesterkin. And heading into the second period now, what will happen here? We have a 3-1 lead. Olofsson with his first goal as a member of the LA Kings. And third period, we have a 4-1 win in our first game of the season, and a goal by Anderson Dolan on Kincaid. Very nice. 3 stars of the game, Turcotte, Shesterkin, and Olofsson. So if that game was any indication of what is about to happen this season, I am looking forward to it, at least for the time being. We'll see what our record is after 1 month. Wow, I was not expecting this. We are 10-2 after 1 month of simulating. So great start, first of all. We're first in our division currently. I don't know how that happened. I guess we'll check out the player stats. We'll check out the team stats. See where this is all coming from. So the first line looks to be absolutely tearing it up at the moment. Kopitar with 14 points. Vilardi with 12. Olofsson with 11. He was a great signing to start out. Turcotte is almost point per game. Doughty almost point per game. Ehlers is with 10 points. He was a great trade, at least, again, for the time being. Byfield with 9. Manson with 9. So everyone's chipping in here. Keith Ho with 7 points in his debut. Anderson Dolan with 5. Grunstrom with 5. Everyone chipping in offensively. Spence with 4. Brown with 3. Hjalmarsson with 3. Lucic with 2. Kupari with 2. Dursey with 1. Clegg with none. Hit-wise, we're getting quite a few hits, especially from our forwards. Vilardi and Byfield banging some bodies in the first 12 games there. Doughty and Manson as well. Kopitar, Kupari doing their piece physically. Everyone is around where I expected them to be physically. I'll just say that. So we're looking pretty good physically at the moment. Takeaways and giveaways. Let's see. So Keith Ho, unfortunately, 9-17. So he is struggling a little bit, at least defensively. But at least he has 7 points to start things out. So not going to rip on him. He's only 19 as well. Got plenty of development to do. 8-2 for Olofsson. He's doing well. Kopitar, 7-14. That's very unusual for him. At least he's doing well offensively. But yeah, I mean, you take a look at his pass takeaway to giveaway ratio. It's usually 3-1 in favor of takeaways, but this time it is 2-1 in favor of giveaways. So certainly off to a slow start defensively as Kopitar, but you know what? We're 10-2. Kupari is 7-6, 7-12 for Spence. For a defenseman, that's pretty good. Turcotte, 7-5. For the most part, looking pretty good here. Definitely surprised by Kopitar, and I definitely want Ho to do better. But we're looking pretty solid otherwise, and again, we're 10-2, so not going to jump on anyone defensively just yet. Shesterkin with an 899 in 10 games, but he has 8 wins. So I'll attribute that to our offense, because it looks like we've mostly been scoring goals for the past month. And Markkanen in 2 games has 2 wins, 937 save percentage, so he's doing very well for himself so far. I wish we were doing better defensively, but the fact that we're 10-2, I'm not going to change anything right now. It's because it's working, you know. As long as it's working, leave it be. Yeah, it's our goals for. 3.67 goals for per game. I was not expecting that. That is for certain. Our goals against per game, I should say, is still up there at 3. So yeah, we need to make sure that we are scoring goals off all season, basically, if we want any success this year. Not even our power play is really going. 13.8. It is our 5-on-5 scoring that is taking over in this simulation. Luckily, our penalty kill is phenomenal this year. 92.1. So let's just hope that our penalty kill can keep it up and that our 5-on-5 scoring doesn't dry up. Because if it does, then we're not looking good all of a sudden. So after 2 months, we are 18-6-2. I can't really explain this. I mean, I guess it's our goals for, because as of last check, that's what it was, but there's no need to check the stats right now when we're winning this much. Let's just keep it going. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this team. I have never seen anything like this. We won 1 game in that month. Yeah. Lost against Nashville, lost against Chicago, lost against St. Louis. We won the game against Vegas, but then a loss against Minnesota, lost against Colorado, Washington, Arizona, Chicago, Boston, Arizona again, Anaheim, Colorado, and Edmonton, all losses. I have never seen anything like that. Like we managed to start the season on a very good note, and now all of a sudden we are out of a playoff spot. I don't know how. I guess our scoring dried up. Yeah, our scoring dried up. Our scoring dried up compared to where it was before. We were at 3.67. Now we're at 3.08. You have to think as of recent, our goals for per game is probably around 2.5. And our goals against per game is at a 3.13. Power play is doing better as of recent. 3rd in the division, 19.8. Penalty kill doing a lot worse, 81.1. It looks like we're starting to fall back down to earth here. As Olofsson, I mean, he's still doing very well. 38 points in 40 games. Turcotte, 38 points in 40 games. Byfield with 35, so Byfield doing very well. Kopitar with 34 and 40. Velarde with 31. Doughty with 30 and 40. Ehlers with 26. Hopefully Ehlers can grow in the offseason, or even over the course of the season in general, because it looks like he's having a better season this year than he was last year. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I just hope that this pace sustains itself, you know. Keith Ho with 18. Could be doing better. Manson with 18. Spence with 14. Shesterkin with an 898. Markkanen with a 920. I'm kind of tempted to roll with Markkanen for a little bit just to see what he can do as the starter. So I think I'm going to go 1 more month here just to see what happens in January. But based off that month that we just had, I don't think this team is going to... I mean, that may have just been we may just be the streakiest team in the league, and we may go on another winning streak again. I mean, it's certainly possible, but based off what happened in that month, I'm going to be very cautious. I don't know. This season's all over the place so far. I can't really wrap my head around it too much, so we're just going to see what another month brings us. So we're on February 1st now. We are 24, 22, and 5. I think I'm going to stop it here. This season is very weird. Goals for, we've gone down to a 2.9. Goals against per game has stayed pretty consistent throughout the year. 3.1. Power play is at a 17.4. And penalty kill, 82.1. That one terrible month just made everything kind of Shesterkin with an 898 save percentage in 38 games, and Markkanen with a 917 and only 6 wins in 16 games. So poor Markkanen there. Not getting much help, but Shesterkin could be doing better. I don't know much about who I'm going to trade at the trade deadline yet, if anybody. I'm anticipating I will, but I do know that we have to solve this two-way forward situation that we're in, because we just have way too many of them. We need to figure out who's staying and who's going, who we want to be on the roster in the future. I'm thinking Dursey could probably go. He hasn't really seen much improvement in this season. He's already 24 now, and I don't think he's going to grow too much. He's only got an 81 offensive awareness. I think we can replace him. Spence I want to keep, for sure. I think either of Grundstrom or Kupari can go. It's more likely to be Grundstrom, honestly. He only has 1 goal. So, unfortunately, looking like Kempe 2.0 at the moment. And Kupari only 10 points in total. Keitho, obviously, we're holding on to, but I would like him to be doing better. So I think we need to get him better line mates. Yeah, we're definitely making some trades at the trade deadline, no doubt about that. So that all being said, I think we're going to end this off here. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we take care of the trade deadline of year number 3 and hopefully advance into what could be the playoffs or could be the offseason. We don't know yet. It all depends on how we finish. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.